Hey, how's it going? It's lunchtime and I just wanted a break from work for a little bit. One of the things I like to do is come in here and just work on my short game. So I'm using GS Pro with a Sky Track, all set up on my laptop. And what I do is I like to just create a nice kind of short little obstacle. So playing on an island green here in the practice mode. And I think it's really nice to come in here and just do something like this. I'm so lucky to have this in my house. I'm glad I invested in it last year, actually. Now, short game is something I've struggled with for years. I've been playing golf for 30 years, mid-handicapper, like I say. A few years ago, I remember playing with a colleague of mine, a guy called James Curran, who's a really good friend. And I played around with him, and I was actually playing all right. But he noticed that I was scared to use anything but an 8-iron to bump and run around the greens. And he said, why are you using your sand wedge, getting it up and down here and getting it a bit close to the flag? I said, I'll be honest with you, mate, I'm scared to death. So at that point, he introduced me to a guy called Dan Grieve. I'd never heard of Dan at the time. Apologies, Dan, if you watch this. But he introduced me to something called the free release. For me, the free releases sounds like some sort of 1970s soul group. But he introduced it to me. And he actually bought me the book as well. This is Dan Grieve's book. It's called The Free Releases, The Short Game System. And I'm not going to say I'm perfect at it. I've read the book. I have watched loads of Dan's videos online. I'm not going to say it's absolutely revolutionized how I play because I'm still pretty rubbish, but it's definitely changed my confidence levels in and around the green. One of the things that I do like to do, I like to come in here and just practice what he calls release 1 and release 2. So what I've got here, I've got a situation where I've got to try and get up and down over the water. And well, let's have a little go. I'm going to use what's called release 2 for this. Now, it takes me a few shots to try and dial it in. And it's really good to experiment with ball position relative to my feet, how I open up the club face. So it might take me a few shots as well. There's a few things that I have to try and remember while I'm doing it, but this is here where we can practice this kind of stuff. When the weather's a bit rubbish outside as well, what great opportunity, come in here, smack some balls. We don't have to get fully loosened up. I like to kind of feel nice and relaxed. One of the things that Dan really did teach me is to keep relaxed. See a lot of people like really stiff when they're trying to chip, or especially sort of around the green. So I try and stay very relaxed. So let's have a go. Now I've got to get up without making too much noise as well. You'll notice I'm in my slippers. So this is proper like on my lunch break. So like I said, I've got a Sky Track. I'm just using a Bridgestone ball just here. Set it up on the dot. Now, like I said, we've got to try and get it up over here. I've got 25 yards here, so I've got to get a bit of flight. So one of the things that I'm going to do is try and do release 2. Release 2 obviously gives it, if you've watched the videos, it gives it just a little bit more loft. Hopefully drop it down just before the target. One of the things I'm terrible at is I'm always under hitting these shots. It's like I'm scared to death to over hit it. So I'm just going to have a couple of little practice swings. Might talk some rubbish while I'm doing it, like I do, and just see how it goes. A couple of things that I try and remember with this is weight on the front foot. Obviously, always weight on the front foot. Stops me from fatting it too much. I'm definitely going to fat a couple of these. But it does limit that a little bit. Keep my arms sort of nice and tucked in, but nice and relaxed. What else do I remember? Oh, yeah, on my... this kind of suits me a little bit because I cover the ball a little bit more. I can actually go... It's like I'm coming over the top a little bit, but I can give it some loft by using the bounce. So that's really good. Now, what I normally do here is experiment where the ball's going to be like in proportion to my feet. The further forward it is, the more loft that I'm going to have. So I might hit a couple just in the water. I might move it back in my stance a little bit just to help kind of give it that loft. I try to do things like that rather than swing any harder. I like to keep like a really nice kind of relaxed, natural swing on these kind of things. Obviously on my follow through, a couple of things that I've picked up over the years. Both of these are quite good things. So it's on my follow through. It's either PP to the pin, classic, or titties to the target as well. So if you're keeping your PP and titties facing the target, that's not a bad follow through. So let's give it a little go. So I was having a little practice on this earlier on, and I actually decided to kind of keep the ball not right in the middle of my stance, but definitely not off my front foot. Weight forward. I am going to open up the face a little bit. Let's watch this scull it straight into the screen, but hopefully this will be all right. We literally sculled it straight into the screen and has the ball. Now, it hasn't even registered it. Brilliant. I talked up a massively good game there, didn't I? This is the beauty of being an absolutely average golfer. Let's give it another go. A little bit better. So a little bit fat, that one. But it might get over. There we go, not too bad. See, one of the beauties of hitting the ball like this is that was a tiny bit fat. And I know I'm playing it off a mat, but because you're using the bounce, it really does take some of the error out of these shots. Oh, that was lovely and buttery. Let's hope, hopefully it's going to be enough. Oh, yeah, that one felt really nice. I nearly feel vindicated for my first thin straight into the net. But that was a lovely shot. If that had been my first one, you'd have thought I was a much better player than I actually am. But we like to keep it real, don't we? There we go. That felt really nice as well. Nearly identical. Yeah, a little bit too far. Actually, I don't mind that. Like I said, one of the things that I unfortunately do a lot is I hit these balls way too short. It's like I'm a bit reluctant. So just to kind of come in here, get a few balls. I'd like to try and get a few balls within that target zone. That felt nice as well. Yeah, lovely. Let's go for one more to see if we can actually do 5. The odds of me getting 5 in a row is pretty slim, but let's have a look. And again, I seem to have about the right length. Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this is I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm mid-40s now, and I can't hit the ball anywhere near like I used to be able to hit it. So I've decided to really work on my short game. That's where I can start to bring my points, my scores down, and get my points up, hopefully. There we go. PP is to the pin, the tiddies are to the target. There we go. Yeah, like I said, I'm really trying to work on this short game. Obviously, it's not a true feel in here, but we can kind of get dialed in, get the confidence up as well to try and do this. I can't hit the ball 270 yards anymore with a driver. I'm lucky if I get like 230 yards. So I'm just trying to work on, this is a great opportunity to try and get up and down. I'm not going to hit every green. I'm going to be off the greens. So if I'm off the greens, how can I get my next shot as close to the flag as possible to try and get up and down, at least save bogey? That's where we want to be, really. That's what's going to get my scores down. That's what's going to make me happy and enjoy myself when I'm playing golf. Yes, I'd love to be smashing it 300 yards. I don't know if I've ever got that shot in me ever again. But you know what? I'm going to tag Dan in this. I'm going to thank him very much. Oh, it's a bit fat, that one. Bit fat. He'll probably give me some coaching on that one. You know what? Look at that. I'll take it. It's not too bad. So thank you for James for introducing me to this. Thank you to Dan for some amazing lessons. I know he's not giving me any lessons direct, but his books come in really useful. And yeah, thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. Cheers.